So we're going to be looking at the fundamental update for September 28th, 2025. If you're following my channel, you know I drop fundamental updates every single weekend, and we'll be looking at what happened the previous week. Then we'll now focus on what would happen this week, right? If you're following this fundamental update, trust me, it's going to increase your profitability in the Forex markets. You're going to be making more wins than losses for sure, because the fundamentals are very important. The markets move 80% by fundamental analysis. I am not even capping, right? I've proven that so many times. Well, last week, or will I say last 2 weeks, we predicted the rate cuts on dollar, and that rate cut have already occurred. And I told you all that after the rate cuts, we are going to be waiting to see what the Fed thinks about dollar. Now you can see dollar have already started changing position of looking bullish. And I want to tell you for a fact that dollar is still going to be bullish from here onwards. It's not going to sell. It's going to keep on going up, and I will explain why that happened. But first things first, listen very carefully. After the rate cut, market has already priced in all the way to this demand level, you can see. And after market priced into this demand level, news on Fed came out, right? I'll explain what that news was all about. The news came out, and the US economy was looking a bit bullish. It was looking a bit good after the rate cut. Why? Because the Fed started seeing positive numbers. They say they don't see any reason to cut further interest rates. You understand? So due to this, investors started looking at dollar in a positive way. They started investing back in dollar because they've already said they are not cutting interest rates. Due to the fact that they are not going to cut interest rate again, dollar is going to be bullish. Do you understand? So once they are not cutting any more interest rates, the investors started putting money back into the economy. And not only that, a lot of data in the US economy came out this, or will I say last week, looking very positive. And we'll look at all of that. First things first, we had the AUD. Now the RBA had this speech, right? The Reserve Bank of Australians, they had a speech last week Monday, and this speech, I looked at the fundamental and I predicted that AUD is going to be strong due to the fact that the same AUD, the same thing going on USD is also what's going on Australia. They cut interest rate on AUD, and they observed that after the rate cut on AUD, the economy started picking up, inflation started going up, the PMI data started rising. Do you understand? So this gave AUD a bullish bias, and I was looking at a sell on GBP AUD. For those who have my contact, I showed you all. And on Tuesday, flash PMI on AUD came out, and it came out negative. This made AUD to price in a bit up before GBP AUD started selling massively. But I want you to understand that aside that, GBP AUD had a CPI drop on Wednesday. You can see we are looking at GBP AUD first of all. You can see 3.0%, and that was increase in inflation. What does this mean? It means that AUD currencies are strong for now. Because why? They are not seeing any further interest rates for this particular period of the month. And if economic data keep on coming up positive, if the economy keep on bringing up positive news, like the inflation looking positive, all these economic indicators looking green on AUD, the currency will keep on rising in value. Let us look at what happened on GBP AUD, which was the pair I focused on. Based on AUD, you can see it sold massively. I said it's going to sell at this 4-hour ski level, and you can see this was the massive sell. And if you cut this from this other block in the 2 hours time frame, you would have made a very, very big win, having up to 90 pips plus all the way down here. You can see the market is retracing. I will still give you all a bias on what is going to happen this week, but for now we are looking at what happened last week. You can see the massive sell after the CPI news came out, showing that AUD, which is the quoted currency, is strong. Do you understand? There are more pairs on AUD that went bullish. We can look at AUD JPY. Let us look at AUD JPY. You can see AUD JPY actually increased in value too as well. See the bullish rise on AUD JPY after the CPI news came out positive. Very, very good height. You understand? So if you're taking the trade, I know some of my professional students that took the trade from here, taking a very huge win of up to 60 pips plus. You understand? If you're in the academy, we'll show you how to take trades like this. Is not even surprising. A lot of my students take trades that you will not even know why they took the trade from that level. It's just a normal thing. We teach the best. Do you understand? So that is it for AUD. AUD is still looking pretty much positive due to the fact that economic data is coming out positive. You can see 3% on inflation, and other positive data too came out this week. So another pair we focused on is the JPY. Now you see JPY, they had bank of holiday on Tuesday, which made the volatility of JPY very weak. But aside that, they had a meeting on JPY, and JPY economy is becoming weak. Remember, in the last 2 weeks, I told you all that JPY is going to be bullish. They are looking to hike interest rate. But all of a sudden, inflation started dropping, PMI number started dropping on JPY. JPY now started going from a good economy to a weak economy. So I gave out this fundamental update to my students, telling them that JPY is going to be weak, which means any pair that had JPY at the back is going to be bullish, and that is exactly what happened. You can see a lot of my students bought CAD JPY. This is the zone in which they bought it at. This is the zone, CAD JPY. USD JPY, we also bought it at this level over here. You understand? I myself, I rode GBP JPY, which gave me a total of 48 pips before the week ended. Let me show you the trade I took on GBP JPY. This is based on fundamentals. I've already closed at partial profit, and I'm still holding this trade. I closed the partial profit here, and I'm still going to hold. Once the week open, I will still keep holding. And the VIP signal members, we had this one. This was a very, very good win, ending the week with 48 pips plus profit. Do you understand? So that is just actually one of the trades that we took in the academy. A lot of my students took trade on CAD JPY. This was a very, very good entry, and I showed you all in the Telegram class I hosted on Saturday. If you don't have my contact, make sure to look for my contact in the description on my YouTube channel. Get my contact, because I usually host free classes on Telegram. I usually post important concept on my WhatsApp status. Get my WhatsApp contact, text me up, and I'll be willing to save that. Do you understand? So this is just another good trade we took on JPY pairs. JPY being weak, CAD JPY was bullish. USD JPY being weak, USD JPY JPY being weak, USD JPY was bullish as well. You can see this is up to 100 and something pips. A lot of my students caught it as well. It's not even surprising. So why did this happen? Why was there a massive rise on USD pairs as well? Well, if you notice, Euro USD sold to last week. GBP USD sold massively last week. Remember, I told you all that after the rate cut on dollar, the investors started saying that, oh, the Fed and government, they are looking positive. On Tuesday, the Fed Powell, they had a speech, which was this. On Tuesday, they had a speech, and they said that, oh, since that the economy is looking positive, they don't see any reason to cut any more interest rate. Their focus will now be on economic indicators. Economic indicators are just simply all these things you're seeing here. So they were now waiting for Thursday, which gave us positive news on final GDP on dollar. Also, unemployment claims came out negative, which means a lot of people were employed that particular period. You understand? It means unemployment claims, if it comes out a little lower than expected, it means a lot of people claim to be employed. They did not claim to be unemployed. You understand? So that is why it's showing green, and that is positive for the economy. And as well, the core PCE, which is a very, very inflation gauge, the government used this to check the inflation rate in the economy. It came out neutral. It did not come out negative, it came out neutral, which shows that, oh, dollar is actually picking up. So due to this, we saw a very bullish momentum on DXY. You can see the bullish momentum on DXY. This was a whole lot of bullish ride on DXY, and I can tell you for a fact, we sold Euro USD, we sold GBP USD. The best part about this is that my students got the update before it even happened. I told a lot of them that GBP USD is going to sell, Euro USD is going to sell. A lot of them caught the sell from this particular area over here, right? Riding the massive win all the way from here. This is 110 pips. This is 110 pips, riding the massive sell all the way from here. A sell is still going to happen this week, and I will explain why I said so. So we still see GBP USD, a lot of them took the trade from this level as well, and they sold from here, making a massive win. If you doubt that, you can review my status. I post most of their wins, and it's not even cap. We are doing very, very great in the academy. So that is not even a new thing over here. So that is it for what happened last week. This is the most important news that was released last week. The remaining flash PMI, which was this. They just use this one to gauge the way the business activity is going on in the US economy. Even the GBP PMI, they use it to gauge the business activity that is going on in the economy. That is just simply it. It's not really going to move the market, but it's a long-term news. Investors look at it to know how the economy is doing overall. Now, this week is going to be a very, very good week. We are expecting the non-farm payroll. Our market team is currently at economic indicator. What does that mean? You know, our market team was at monetary policy before. Now our market team is at economic indicator. What does that mean? It means every single economic indicator that matters in the market is going to affect the market. The NFP is going to affect the market. The CPI is going to affect the market. The non-farm payroll will actually see a drastic push in the market. Do you understand? So all these ADP, all these red folders, I'll tell you the one that will affect the market, the ones that the Fed are looking at, the ones that the government are looking at. Why would these economic indicators affect the market? Why did the market team change the economic indicator? We've already cut interest rate on dollar, which was last 2 weeks, right? So now, since they've already cut interest rate on dollar, the Fed are now looking at these economic indicators to know if dollar will keep on being weak or if it will start being strong. As we all know, it's all these data, they shows us the economic strength of a particular country. So if any of this comes out green for any particular currency, it means that that economy is doing well. If it come out negative, it means that that economy is doing what? Poorly. So now every investor is looking at this, right? Because this data is going to tell us if dollar will keep buying or if dollar will keep selling. It's going to tell us if AUD will keep buying or AUD will keep selling. For the first one, which is on Tuesday, we're having RBA press statement. Now, this is actually a statement on rate cut. A very, very, very important news, which is going to affect the AUD market. You might see the market skyrocket on Tuesday after the news is being released, which is going to happen in the night when you're sleeping, possibly by 2 a.m. is going to happen. Now, what is my expectation? My expectation is that they would keep it on a neutral. Why? Because the government have already given a statement saying that they don't see reasons to cut any further interest rate because AUD economy is picking up. So since it's picking up, this number is going to come out 3.60% as well as the previous, and this is going to make AUD bullish. So we're going to still be seeing a little bit of sell on GBP AUD. We're going to be seeing a little bit of sell on Euro AUD. On AUD JPY, we're going to be seeing a buy. You understand? AUD JPY is going to buy for sure. Just be looking out for this particular data. Be looking out for this particular trade because it's going to happen massively. If the data come out negatively, which possibly can still come out negative, I cannot predict the future. All I'm predicting is using previous data to tell you what the fundamental will look like. But if it should come out negative, it means that AUD will be weak. So AUD would actually GBP AUD will keep buying, AUD JPY will keep selling. So just be very careful. If you're finding entry, find it before the news. We don't trade the actual news release, we trade the rumors of the news. Do you understand? So that's it, just simply it. For the next important news, all this news will not be important. The job opening would not really be important, even though it's showing a red folder. It will not be important. ADP non-farm payroll, yes, it will show us what the employment sector is in the private sector. The employment data is in the private sector, and it's going to be telling us if people were employed in the private sector or unemployed. We don't really care about this data. The one we care about is the non-farm payroll, which is on Friday. You can see this one over here. This is on 1:30 p.m. Now, this is the one that is going to have a drastic move in the market. The market might actually range on USD until Friday, or the market might price in due to expectations of dollar being bullish. You understand? But my overall bias on dollar is that dollar is still bullish for now. I'm not seeing any reason why dollar will start selling anytime soon. Because why? Investors are positive. The market is looking good and everything is looking great. For the JPY, we are going to be having a JPY speech. Now, this speech is very important. I'll be looking at it to know what the Fed feels about JPY. If Japan economy is still not picking up, JPY will be weak. AUD JPY will keep buying. CAD JPY will keep buying. USD JPY will keep buying. If this data should come out weak, if the Fed say, or if the government say, JPY is actually looking a little bit of weak, the economy is not doing fine, everything is giving out negative results, the economy will certainly be weak. So what is my bias, right? I've already given you my bias. AUD is looking a bit positive, USD is still looking bullish, JPY is looking a little bit weak. So we might be seeing a weak JPY. So let us look at the chart and see what I am thinking for this week. First of all, let's look at DXY. For DXY, I'm going to sure that if dollar should keep buying, it's going to retrace all the way to this level over here. Maybe it's come all the way to this level to take out a little bit of SL due to the fact that it's NFP week and keep going up. That is what I feel about dollar. For now, I'm not seeing any bearish move on dollar. If the NFP should come out negative, maybe dollar might actually sell a bit and come back to this demand level. That's if the NFP come out negative. But for now, my bias is still on the rumors, and the rumors are saying dollar will be positive. I'm trading based on the rumors. Do you understand? So let's go all the way to GBP JPY. My GBP JPY is currently based on JPY economy. JPY economy is weak, and AUD and GBP economy too might be weak a bit, but I am seeing JPY economy to be very extremely weak. I just hope the market will retrace back to the entry, because I trailed my SL to my entry. I'm still holding a massive profit over here. If the market should open, I should see a little bit of retracement back to this level, and then maybe from here we can see a little bit of pickup. I'm hoping it gets to my TP. This is up to a 98 pips TP. Very, very good TP. I'll be making a lot of money if it should hit that position. For my GBP AUD is still looking like it's coming back to the key level, but this key level have been tested twice. So it might be risky to come and take another trade here, but if the market should continue, we can see a trend is already forming. If the market should continue in this pattern, right, we can expect it to actually sell from here, right? If it should continue going down, respecting AUD being strong, it should at least sell from here and keep going down. I don't see any entry here for those who want to go aggressive. Maybe this could be an entry, but for me, I don't see any entry here. I will sit duck and just observe this one. For Euro USD has already gone down massively, but it's still retracing. Possible retracement could be here. This is not a sell zone. This is still neutral. Why? Because the market hasn't given us a confirmation yet. I would give the update to my students when it occurs. If they are looking out for the news, I would give it to them. I will tell them if there's any updates in the news, what the news talked about. That is the privilege you have of being a student of mine. You will never get late updates. Do you understand? So CAD JPY, what am I expecting? CAD JPY is already retracing. Maybe it should retrace back to this key level, but due to the fact that it did not give me a break of this structure, I'm not really looking for any re-entry on CAD JPY. It did not give me a break of that structure. I'm not looking for any re-entry, because this could possibly be a range. Market can just come back here and start ranging before it goes up. So that's just it for USD JPY. USD JPY looks very, very nice. I've already given a break of this structure, right? But there's still another upward key level over here, which the markets might be targeting. But if there's any zone the markets will likely respect, it will be this previous key level which it just broke, which is this zone over here. Maybe the market should come back and retrace all the way back there before we start looking for an entry in the market. But might sweep out a lot of traders before going up. I'll give the signals to my students if I see a good entry as well. That one is not a problem. So that is it for all these pairs. That is it. That is all I have to say. You know what will happen on GBP USD. The same thing as Euro USD. The market will retrace, obviously, but that retracement might not last for long, and then we'll look for another massive sell if dollar keep being bullish due to the rumors. You understand? So that is it for this week. I hope you all understood everything. In case you don't understand, make sure to ask me my DM. I'll be willing to explain it perfectly for you. And with that being said, it's still your boy XFX Academy. Make sure to have a lovely